Hello, my name is Jorb, and I love gear. You saw the title of the video. I am not a musician. At least, I don't think of myself as that. I think of myself as more of a tech. I think the distinction is important because friends of mine who are musicians, properly musicians, and want to put out their own music, they're so motivated to do these things, and I don't really feel that. And I don't think that it's a less noble cause, so to speak, but it's just different. And for a while, I was kind of insecure about that. I was kind of on the fence if that was the right way to be or not, and that's what I want to talk about today. I wasn't sure what video I was going to work on today, but I came down here and I sat down and I looked around and I realized I just want to talk to you guys. I just want to talk about this idea. It kind of came up in a conversation I was having with Bo Beats and the Midlife Synthesist, good guys. But I expressed it in that way, that I think of myself as more as a tech than musician, and I realized that that can be a really interesting thing to talk about. So that's what we're going to do today. This is in part, thank you for 10,000 subscribers. I don't expect this video to do super well, but I know my core audience, my very regular commenters, subscribers will be around, and that's really the people that I want to have a conversation with. I want this to spawn conversation in the comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. And my patrons, everybody who is willing to give me money to support me in doing this, that is amazing. Thank you very much. And everybody who's bought the patch packs. So cheers. All of you have let me do this. All of you have let me be a tech, and I really appreciate that. So, where to begin? Okay, let me give you the whole Jorb's musical life chart. When I was in 4th or 5th grade, I started playing the viola in orchestra, which might be called band for some other parts of the world, but for us it was like a whole string orchestra. And I did that until it wasn't cool anymore. So late high school, and then I started playing guitar, and while I was playing guitar, it was about pedals pretty quickly. I liked the sounds I could get from pedals, and that's what excited me. So it's always kind of been about music tech. And then when I was in college, I played guitar for a band where I used pedals a lot. There was a synth player in that band, Gabriel. I hope you're doing good. But I didn't write any songs, really. There were a few songs that, we would all come with our parts and come together, and some songs existed by the time I was in that band. But I never said, guys, I have a song. You know what I mean? And then after college, since then, I've been the synth man for hire in a few different groups and a handful of other gigs. But never have I written my own songs, especially with the express intent of releasing them, under an artist name or whatever. I'll write jams because I'll get an idea that I think deserves to be fully explored or whatever. But I never wake up with the drive to make a track or put out a track. And for a while, I thought that was weird. I thought that wasn't a normal thing. And I realized that the important part to me about music and gear and all this stuff comes from a different place. My motivation for it comes from a different place. So some more deep web Jorb lore. In college, I was president for a time of a club called Genre Club. And Genre Club, the whole point is you get people together and they form bands, and we have practice spaces with gear for them to use, and we put on shows for them to play shows. And the whole idea was you can get people together and get them playing music together and get them playing shows. But really over a few years, I watched a lot of people grow and get better and figure, all the aspects of playing music and being in a band out. And that's what I was most proud of. I really like enabling other people's creativity. And the stuff I'm really passionate about is music technology, music gear, and the history of it. You can see behind me my Rhodes and my Wurlitzer. I don't have those because I need them as songwriting tools. I have those because they are amazing, fascinating pieces of my history, of music history, and I appreciate what they are on that level, and what they meant for popular music, the sounds they made available to musicians of the time. Anyway, that's another topic really, but I'm excited by gear because I think music technology is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. The idea of designing a product for art, period, is so fascinating. In some ways, and to some people, it's inherently non-commercial to sit down and make art, to sit down and make music. But you still need to market these things towards artists. Anyway, that's a whole nother video, but that's the idea. I mostly am motivated by enabling other people's creativity, and maybe in college I was getting the bands together, or right after college I was fixing guitars for my friends, or lately when a friend of mine is in a band and they think a synthesizer would complete the sound or whatever, I get to do that. So in so many ways, that's the thing that I care about, is not putting out my own music, but enabling other people's creativity. And maybe that's just me finding nobility in, yes, I just like to tinker with synthesizers, but I think that's real. I think that's actually what my motivation is. So back to the core of this. I do not really think of myself as a musician. Yes, I play music. Yes, I love to play music live. Yes, music is important to me. But the stuff I really, really care about is gear. That's why I open the videos with I love gear. The last video I did was all about modulation effects, modulation pedals. I was so excited to sit down and write that outline because those things are so exciting to me. And I know, coming from the synth world, we have the right vocabulary to understand them. And I realized, like, that's really what I care about. I want to show people they already understand these concepts. And if you just, like, look a little deeper, you can understand it well enough to really, really utilize it in your music. And that's kind of where I come from with all this. And so in some ways I was insecure about it, right? Because here on YouTube, synfluencers, you look at people like Andrew Huang or Bad Snacks, who are so clearly musicians first, and all their technical knowledge comes in service of that as a way to explore. And I'm kind of reverse from that. And I don't think it's a negative anymore, but for a time I did, where I would work out jams just because I liked the synth sound that I'd come up with. I would work out jams to have a place for, you know what I mean, the patch that I worked out. Most anything I write is about demonstrating a piece of gear in context, especially anymore where all of my creative energy goes to YouTube. But yeah, so let me summarize. I don't think of myself as a musician, even though if somebody were to say, "You're a musician, right?" I would say, "Sure." But no, I don't put out any of my own music, and that to me, and I'm not motivated to, and that to me is kind of the crux of what being a musician is, right? I am more likely and happier to spend my energy, my mental energy, my creative energy on fixing things or making videos about them than I am writing a song or trying to put out a track. And that doesn't mean I don't like to play, it doesn't mean I can't play, but it's all motivated from a different place, or at least that's where I'm motivated from. I can't speak for anybody else. But in a lot of ways, I think of myself as a tech, and I do think that is fair. I like to repair these things. I like to teach people about these things. I like to put these things back out in the world. And more than anything, I like to enable people's creativity. So thank you, the 10,000 of you who make that possible, plus the patrons. It really does mean a lot. But anyway, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Do you identify that? Do you feel that? Do you think other people are like that? It's not bad. And I'm not better or worse than any other influencer because of my approach. And if you make fun of anybody or try and disparage anybody for being one way or the other, I'm going to ignore you. That's who I am. I love gear. I'm quite proud of that. And in a lot of ways, that makes me very, very well equipped to be to talk to you guys about these things. I'm quite proud of that. My name's Jorb. I love gear. Thanks for watching.